have a nice blend of flavors, from the squash and carrots and sweet potatoes to the hot chilies and the mild, soothing beans and corn masa. Tamales are wrapped in corn husks. The corn husks need to soften for a while, at least for 30 minutes. So the first thing we're going to do is place the corn husk in a big bowl. Cover them with boiling water and place a weight on top. I use a big bowl of water and let it sit for about 30 minutes or so. The vegetables for the filling need to roast for a while. So let's start by peeling the sweet potato. I'm chopping the vegetables, the sweet potato first, in uniform size pieces, so they all bake at about the same time. Peel the squash, chop the squash, and add it to the roasting pan. Next, we'll peel the carrots. Chop the carrots and add the carrots to the roasting pan. Next, we'll peel and chop the onion. I just like to chop it long like this. We're going to end up mashing the vegetables as soon as they roast. I'm putting the lid on the roasting pan because that was a pungent onion. The next thing is to put in, I like to put just a few cloves of garlic, maybe 3 or 4 cloves of garlic in here. Drizzle with oil and then add salt. It's a good idea to toss the vegetables a little before baking. Put a lid on the roasting pan and place them in an oven that's set at 375 degrees. To make the tamale dough, whisk the dry ingredients together. First the masa, the salt, and the baking powder. Whisk them until all of the dry ingredients are incorporated. Next, we add the oil. We add the oil a little bit at a time and we mix it with our hands. What you're trying to do is to mix it until it has the consistency of damp sand. If you can start forming it into shapes like a sandcastle, then you know you have the right amount of oil. See how this is starting to set up as I move it like this? This is an indication that you have enough oil in the flour. Add water, about a cup at a time, and then whisk to incorporate. The actual amount of water that you use may vary depending on your climate, on the moisture in the flour, and on the specific type of flour that you buy. So the measures are more determined by looking at the dough than they are by measuring the amount on the recipe. See how it's setting up? It's almost like a thick cookie dough. This is the right consistency. This is a good time to feel it. See that? See how it's a little thick? This is exactly the right consistency. Now, I'm going to let this sit for a little while, maybe 20 minutes or so, to let the baking powder activate and to let the flour absorb the moisture. These vegetables have roasted, they're soft, and they're ready to make into the filling. Pour them into a mixing bowl along with the juices. I'm going to add 2 or 3 Anaheim chilies. Then blend the vegetables. Reserve out 2 cups of the vegetables, which we will use for the sauce. Add the beans to the filling. And now I want to taste to make sure I have the right blend of seasonings. It's sweet. I taste the onion and the garlic and the chili and the velvety bean. This is going to make a nice filling for the tamales. We're ready to make some tamales. I've got my workspace all set up. I have a paper towel here, and this is sort of layered. There's layers of paper towels. I have another towel here that's all doubled up. I have my soaked corn husks. I have my masa that's sat for a while, and I have my filling, and I'm ready. First thing I'm going to do is to make some ties. I'm going to pat this dry on the towel, and then I'm going to pull off some strips, which we'll use in just a minute. I want them to be pretty thin because they're easier to tie when they're about this thin. To make the tamale, take a husk, pat it dry on the towel, take some of the masa dough and press it down onto the husk, right in the middle. I like to press it thin because I don't want them to be too heavy. Put about 2 tablespoons of the filling in the middle of the dough. Roll it together. And then take the bottom and lift it up. Roll the side all the way over. Keep your hand there to secure it, and then roll it all the way over. Tie it with the tie on top. See how having thin ties really makes it easy to tie it? Then we'll put it into a steamer, and as soon as we get a lot of them made, we'll steam them. This is a very pleasant and peaceful thing to do. So I'll just be rolling tamales for a while. You can see I've been busy. Steam these for 1 hour. We'll make a sauce from the vegetables to complement the tamales. Take the reserved mashed vegetables and put them in a blender. Add a little water. This is a 4-ounce can of jalapenos. I'm going to add about 1/3 of a can. I like the sauce to be a little bit hot, but you can add the jalapenos to taste. And salt. Blend until smooth. This looks like a sauce. Pour the sauce into a saucepan and heat before serving. The tamales have steamed for 60 minutes. The sauce is warm and ready to serve, and I've made a little garnish. So, it's time to plate. Take a tamale out. Take off the wrapper. And just roll it out. And then put some sauce on top. Garnish. And it's ready to serve.